The thing that happened in Thailand, it was one of the craziest things. When I went to London, I'll jump back a little bit. When I went to London, it was Brother Ruff and Jaron Barnes and Thomas Fisher. We all know Thomas Fisher. We're all going out there. We're going to train some people in Chichester, and they're in the UK. And I had just made a decision that I wasn't going to allow finances to keep me from doing the things that God had called me to do. And so they invited us to come out, and I think I had $1 in my pocket during the time. I had my wife, my kids, and they invited me out, and I had said, you know what, talked to Jaron and Brother Ruff, and I said, look, this is an 8-day trip. I've fasted more than 7 days, and I'm willing to fast the entire trip. If you guys want to come with me, as long as I have water, I'm okay. And the guy said, hey, let's just go. And that was just the mindset that I've always had, is just, I'm just going to go, and I'm not going to allow finances or what I don't have to keep me from functioning or walking in the things that God has for me. And it just started there in London. I went out there, I stepped out, and all the meals were provided for. I was taken care of. Me, Jaron, Brother Ruff, we were taken care of. God just provided for us supernaturally. And so that was building me up. So when I went to Thailand, I remembered that. I remembered how God was faithful in the UK. I remembered how he was faithful. And, they kept asking me, one of the persons that I was working with, they kept asking me, hey, we need some finances for this and finances for that. And I had told the promoter and the person that we're working with that, I'm going down there and I'm on a budget. And if I go over this budget, I won't be able to come home, being able to save face, knowing that, hey, I spent my rent, my light, and all these things out here in Thailand, and I have a family back home. And so, it ended up happening. I ended up having to tap into all the finances. I ended up spending my rent, my light, all my finances were totally gone. And the day before I had to come back, I was in a hotel room with a couple guys, and I just said, look, I just literally spent $3,000 on the team and everybody, and I need, and I'm in a third world country, and they're dollars, with all of them, $5 US. I mean, they weren't making that much, and I just literally said, look, I need $3,000, Lord, and I don't know how it's going to happen, but at this point, I have to believe you, because I'm going to go home, and I had told my wife to trust me. I told her that you were going to provide, and here I just spent all the rent, all the light, all the utility money. I have nothing, and I'm sitting in a hotel room. I'm panicking, I'm worrying, I'm thinking, how am I going to face my wife? How am I going to be able to just, convince her that this trip was something that God wanted me to do? And now I'm going back, and I'm going to eat crow, and I'm just going to feel like I let my family down. And I just felt like a fake in my heart and in my spirit, like, is this why I came to Thailand? Is this a test from God? What is he trying to show me? What's going on? And so that night, I felt something inside of me. It was the weirdest thing. It was like this aha moment where I said, look, I'm just going to write down what I need. And so I wrote down $3,000 on a piece of paper. And I said, how much is that in Thai baht? How much is that in Thai money? And it was 100,000 in Thai baht. And it was 100,000, somewhere around there. And so I wrote it down, and I just folded it up. And I sat it down, and I said, okay, God, then you're going to have to provide that, because I'm doing everything for you. And the word says that, you've never seen a son, begging for bread, and you're my provider. And I just folded it up. I sat it down, and I just said, I'm going to sleep, because I hadn't slept 3 days. We had been filming and traveling. I fell asleep on a lady's leg as we were ministering. I mean, I was spent. And went to bed that night, and it wasn't even 2 hours. I think I had like 4 hours sleep that night, but within the 2 hours, I started feeling something in my pocket. I thought it was a remote to the TV, but we hadn't turned the TV on. And I got up and started feeling something. I didn't think nothing of it. Just kind of dozed off a little bit. And then when I did wake up, I stood up, I stuck my hand in my pocket, and there was this wad of money. Now, everybody that I had been working with, you got to remember, I was feeding some of them, if not most of them, because I had told them, look, we're going to be provided for, we're going to be taken care of. You don't need to bring that many finances. And so we were all in the same boat. We were all just doing our best and hoping that God would provide, and just we were all in the same predicament pretty much. And that really, what that did is that proved to me that, okay, there's just no way that anybody that I'm dealing with within my circle could put this money in my pocket, because that's the first thing I thought. I thought, okay, look, the doors are locked. There's only 2 of us in here. These guys are just as broke as me. And so I go to the next room, I call some guys up, we have a meeting, and I'm like, look guys, I don't even know how to wrap my mind around this. I don't even know what's going on. This has never happened to me before. But I literally have a wad of money in my pocket, and it had the banknote wrapped around it as if someone walked into a bank, filled it out, and handed it and put it in my pocket. It was the craziest thing. Now, you couldn't pull that out of an ATM. Banks hadn't been opened yet. The sun wasn't even up yet. And it totally just shook me. And the Lord had told me within my spirit, he said, don't tell anybody that I did this. Don't tell anybody yet. And so I just told 2 people that were there, because I couldn't deny the fact, because I had to ask them if they had put it in my pocket. So they were the only ones that had known. And so he said, don't tell anybody. And I didn't understand why he said that. But the reason that he had said that is because some of the promoters that we were working with were asking us for finances all the time. And if I would have told them that I had those finances in my pocket, they would have kept trying to bleed us. They would have kept asking us for money, because some of the guys that we're working with, they're in the same hole. They're just trying to get by as well. So they're not trying to do anything, shady. But when you're hungry, you're hungry. And so, I had it in my pocket, and I came home and I paid my rent, paid my light. And the crazy thing about it is I had these pair of shorts that had the pockets along the sides. And I fell into the same predicament about a month later. And my wife and I were laying on the bed, and I was telling her about, look, God did this in Thailand. I didn't have the money for the rent. I didn't have any of this money. I didn't have anything going on. And what was crazy is, as I was talking, I rolled over and I felt like paper wadding within my pocket. And I'm thinking, okay, what is that? Is that money? Is that paper? What is that? And so when I stuck my hand in there, I pulled out a wad of money. And my wife saw it in my eyes, and she said, that's how I know that it was real, because the expression on your face was something I had never seen before. And there's no way that you could have played that off. And so I pulled the money out, and he did it again. It was the craziest thing.